All right, so today we're diving into some daily journaling prompts.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're looking at a blog post from Lestallion.
Okay.
And Lestallion is a company that actually makes journals.
Interesting.
But they also have this blog post called 50 Daily Journaling Prompts. And I thought, this would be a good one to dig into, whether you've been journaling for a while or just starting out, maybe you need some fresh inspiration or a little help to, get that habit going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
I think that's a great idea.
yeah, so the prompts are organized, to kind of guide you through different times of day and different areas of self-reflection.
Yeah, and I think what's really fascinating about these prompts is they're not just like random questions. They're really carefully crafted
Right.
to kind of guide you through like different times of day, like you were saying, and areas of self-reflection. So it's like having a roadmap
Yeah.
to your own inner landscape.
Yeah, exactly. And so let's jump right into the morning prompts. And one that caught my eye was, what is one small goal you want to achieve today, and how can you ensure it happens?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that seems like, kind of a nice way to set your intention for the day.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, is there something a little bit deeper going on there?
Well, yeah, I think there is, because starting your day with even like a small achievable goal taps into the power of what we call micro wins.
Oh, okay.
So when you accomplish something, even if it's small, it triggers the sense of accomplishment and motivates you to keep going. And that's a simple but really effective way
Yeah.
to kind of build momentum and set yourself up for success throughout the day.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And speaking of setting yourself up for success, another morning prompt asks, think about your energy level this morning. What can you do to feel more energized and focused throughout the day?
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with this sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what's your take on that?
Well, I think that prompt is all about self-awareness. Encouraging you to check in with your physical and mental state first thing in the morning. Are you feeling sluggish, or are you stressed or anxious? By identifying how you're feeling, then you can take steps to address it.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a quick walk to get your blood flowing or a few minutes of meditation.
Oh, okay.
Just to calm your mind. It's all about giving yourself what you need to really function at your best.
Yeah, instead of just plowing through your day
Yeah, exactly.
on autopilot, you're actually taking a moment to connect and be like, okay, what do I need today?
Yeah. It's about taking ownership of your well-being right from the start.
Yeah, I like that. Now, Lestallion doesn't just focus on surface level positivity. They also have some prompts that encourage us to go a little bit deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And one that stood out to me was, reflect on a topic or issue you've been avoiding. Why is it challenging? And how can you begin to approach it positively?
Right.
And I have to admit that one feels a little bit intimidating to me.
Yeah.
So is it always helpful to confront those difficult issues head on?
Well, that's a great question. And, while journaling can be so beneficial for processing emotions, it's really important to approach it with self-compassion.
Okay.
Sometimes when we're dealing with things that are really difficult or even traumatic experiences,
Right.
it might be best to seek professional guidance
Okay.
before delving into those things in your journal. But for everyday challenges or, if you have recurring negative thoughts, then journaling can be really powerful
Okay.
for finding clarity and solutions.
So it's using it strategically, understanding that there are limitations.
Yeah.
And that sometimes you might need a little extra support.
Exactly. And going back to that prompt, the key is to approach it with a focus on understanding rather than judgment.
Okay.
So instead of dwelling on the problem, try to figure out what the root cause is
Right.
and what are some potential solutions.
Okay, so almost like a problem-solving approach to it.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yep.
Do you have any personal examples of how you've used journaling to work through something challenging?
I actually do. I used to struggle with a lot of anxiety around public speaking.
Wow.
And every time I had to give a presentation, my heart would race, my palms would sweat, and my mind would just go blank.
I've been there.
It was debilitating. So I started using journaling prompts similar to this one to really explore my fears.
Okay.
And what I discovered was that my anxiety really stemmed from this fear of being judged and not being good enough.
So you were able to kind of pinpoint that underlying cause that helped you overcome it.
It did. Once I understood where it was coming from, then I could start to address it.
Okay.
And I began by challenging my negative thoughts and trying to reframe them more positively. And I also practiced mindfulness to help me stay present and focused during presentations. And, slowly but surely, my anxiety started to lessen.
That's a really great example of how, journaling can be a catalyst for personal growth. But it's not always easy to face those fears and insecurities.
You're absolutely right. It takes courage and honesty to go there,
Yeah.
but the rewards can be immense.
Okay, so we've talked about setting intentions, managing our energy, confronting those challenging topics.
Mm.
What other areas do these Lestallion prompts explore?
Well, one area that they really emphasize is cultivating gratitude.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say,
And for good reason.
I love this prompt. What are 3 unexpected blessings you've received recently, and how have they impacted your life?
Yes.
It's almost like a treasure hunt, for the good stuff.
It is. It's incredibly powerful. You see, our brains have this negativity bias,
Right.
which means we tend to focus on the negative
Makes sense.
more than the positive. And practicing gratitude really helps to counteract that by
Okay.
shifting our attention to the positive.
So it's not just about feeling good in the moment. It's almost like you're retraining your brain
Exactly.
to look for the good.
Yeah, the more we practice gratitude,
Mm-hmm.
the more we actually wire our brains to see the good things in our lives.
Yeah, and notice them and appreciate them more.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see how that could really have a ripple effect on your well-being.
Absolutely. So when you're writing about these unexpected blessings,
Yeah.
try to really feel the gratitude.
Oh,
Let it wash over you and describe how these small events have enriched your life.
I'm already feeling a little bit lighter
Good.
just thinking about it. So we've covered morning prompts, digging deeper into challenges, celebrating gratitude.
Yeah.
What else is there?
Well, another important area that they address is self-reflection and personal growth.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have some really insightful prompts that encourage you to kind of step back and look at your progress.
Yeah.
And one is, think about the person you were a year ago. In what ways have you grown or evolved since then?
Oh, that's such a good one. I
Hmm.
feel like, we get so caught up in the day-to-day that we kind of lose sight of the bigger picture.
Exactly.
And so, I often feel like I'm just treading water, but then when I actually take a moment to reflect, it's like, wow, I've actually learned and grown a lot over the past year. And, so this prompt is like a nice way to sort of acknowledge those subtle shifts
Yeah,
and, celebrate those small victories.
it is. And you can use this prompt not only to reflect on the past,
Okay.
but to set intentions for the future.
Oh, interesting.
So you identify areas where you've grown and pinpoint your strengths
Okay.
and use them to achieve your goals.
So it's almost like, you're kind of recognizing patterns in a way
Exactly.
and being like, oh, this is where I naturally excel, and I can
Okay.
use that to propel myself forward.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I like that perspective.
And it highlights another important aspect of journaling,
Yep.
which is that it's not just about recording our thoughts and feelings, it's about engaging with them and using them to shape our lives.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to see these daily prompts almost like a framework
Mm-hmm.
for personal growth. It's like having this, personal coach
Right.
guiding you through the process of self-discovery.
Yeah. That's a great analogy. And speaking of guidance, their prompts don't just stop at the end of the day.
Oh,
They
wow.
have a whole section on evening reflection.
Oh, that's interesting. I've always thought of journaling as like a morning thing,
Right.
but I could see how ending the day with some quiet reflection could be beneficial.
Yeah.
What kind of prompts do they offer for the evening?
Well, one that I really like is reflect on a moment when you felt especially calm or content. What can you do to recreate that peace?
Okay.
So it encourages us to end our day on a positive note by revisiting a joyful or tranquil moment.
I love that. It's like you're hitting the pause button on all the stress and chaos of the day
right.
and choosing to focus on something positive.
Hmm.
I need more of that in my life.
Yeah, and by identifying the elements that contributed to that peace,
Okay.
you can start incorporating them into your routine.
Oh, that's interesting.
So maybe it was spending time in nature or listening to calming music or disconnecting from screens.
Yeah, it's like creating these little pockets of peace.
That's,
the day.
and in doing so, you're not just improving your mood,
Right.
but you're actually training your brain to be more resilient to stress.
So it's not just about feeling good. It's about equipping ourselves
Yeah,
to handle, the inevitable challenges.
that's life. Now, before we wrap up our deep dive into Lestallion's prompts,
Okay.
I wanted to share one more that's really thought-provoking.
Okay.
And it's reflect on how you spent your time today. Were your actions aligned with your priorities?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's so easy to get to the end of the day and be like, I was busy,
Right.
but did I actually do anything meaningful?
Exactly. And it highlights an important principle,
Okay.
which is that we all have the same 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's how we choose to spend them that
Right.
really matters.
That's true.
So this encourages us to be more mindful of our time
Okay.
and make sure we're investing it in things that align with our values and goals.
Yeah, it's like a little nudge to realign your compass
Exactly.
and make sure you're headed in the right direction.
Yeah. And sometimes those small, insignificant moments
Mm-hmm.
can reveal a lot about our priorities.
Yeah, like when you realize you spent an hour scrolling through social media
Exactly.
when you should have been working on a project,
Yeah,
spending time with your family.
right. Those moments can be valuable wake-up calls,
Yeah.
gently nudging us to realign our actions with our intentions.
I love that this has been such an insightful look at these Lestallion prompts. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm really starting to see them not just as writing exercises, but as tools for self-discovery, personal growth, and even stress management.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And we've only scratched the surface here, but I hope our conversation
Yeah,
has inspired you to explore them further.
definitely. And, for those of you who are new to journaling, remember, you don't need a fancy journal or a specific time of day.
Mm-hmm.
Just grab a notebook and a pen and a few moments of quiet.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It's accessible to everyone.
Absolutely. It's been so great exploring these prompts with you.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's amazing how something as simple as writing,
Yeah,
can have such a big impact.
it is. And remember, there's no right or wrong way to journal.
Mm-hmm.
The most important thing is to be consistent
Okay.
and approach it with curiosity and self-compassion.
That's a great point. So we hope this deep dive has maybe sparked your curiosity and, inspired you to give these prompts a try.
Yeah.
And as you embark on your journaling journey, remember to be kind to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace the process.
Yeah,
And enjoy the journey.
absolutely.
Well said.
Huh.
All right, that wraps up this episode of The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, happy journaling.